To the 72nd Commencement at Marist College. I am Susan Scanlon, Assistant Dean for the School of Computer Science and Mathematics. The musical activities for today's program are arranged by Art Himmelberger. The Marist Singers are directed by Sarah Williams. Tonight we are pleased that a majestic replica of the 17th century Dutch yacht, the Onroost, is docked at the Marist waterfront. Built in 1614, a few years after Henry Hudson's famed voyage, the Onroost was the first decked ship to be built in what became New York, and the first trading ship built in America. Photo opportunities will be available after the ceremony. I will now introduce the order of the procession. First in order is the Grand Marshal, Dr. Nora Brackus, Assistant Professor of Education. Next in the procession is the Marist Army ROTC Color Guard, supervised by Cadet Daniel Roberts. Leading the candidates for degrees are bachelor's degree candidates from the School of Professional Programs, entering 2 by 2 according to their programs. They are led by their student marshal, Stephanie Marie Mitchell, and faculty marshals Joanna Hike, professional lecturer of professional studies, and Dr. Joel Baldemir, lecturer of professional studies. Helping lead the undergraduates are Dr. Daniel A. Spiro, Dean of the School of Professional Programs, and Dr. Martin Schaffer, Dean of the School of Liberal Arts. Following the candidates for undergraduate degrees are the graduate students entering 2 by 2 according to their academic program. First are students from the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences and the School of Communication and the Arts. Leading the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences is the student marshal Corey Bianca Embler, and faculty marshal Dr. William Van Ornum, professor of psychology. They are accompanied by Dr. Deborah Gattens, dean of the school. Candidates in the School of Communication and the Arts are led by the student marshal Chelsea Lauren Moravec, and faculty marshal Dr. Subir Sengupta, associate professor of advertising. They are accompanied by Dr. Carolyn Lepre, dean of the school. Next in the procession are students from the School of Management and the School of Science. Leading the School of Management is the Student Marshal, Eric Charles Applebaum, and Faculty Marshal, Dr. Kavus Ardalan, Professor of Finance. They are accompanied by Dr. Lawrence Singleton, Dean of the school. Candidates from the School of Science are being escorted by Student Marshal Caitlin Albano and Faculty Marshal Rokina Puglisi, Clinical Assistant Professor of Physician Assistant Studies. They are accompanied by Dr. Neil Fitzgerald, Interim Dean of the school. Next in the procession are students from the School of Computer Science and Mathematics. Leading the School of Computer Science and Mathematics is the Student Marshal, Patrick Zhang Hanley, and Faculty Marshal, Dr. Ronald Coleman, Professor of Computing Technology. They are accompanied by Dr. Roger Norton, Dean of the school. The degree candidates are followed in the procession by members of the college administrative staff and members of the President's Cabinet. The President's Cabinet is followed by the Platform Party, which includes the Board of Trustees of the college and our honored guests. At the end of the procession comes the chair of the faculty, Dr. Elizabeth Quinn, Associate Professor of Psychology. She carries the Marist College mace, an age-old symbol of authority rooted in Roman and medieval history. A staff made of wood and metal, the Marist College mace supports a three-sided crown, which carries the seal of the college. Its design represents the three ideals of the college: excellence in education, the importance of community, and the principle of service. The center of the Marist seal shows the letters A and M interlaced with 12 stars above the letters, honoring the traditions of the Marist brothers who founded the college. Following the chair of the faculty is President David Yellen. President Yellen wears the Marist College Medallion, or Medal of Office, on a ribbon around his neck. Like the mace and seal, the medallion is a symbol of authority. Its roots can be traced to the Roman bulla, a golden amulet of honor. In earlier times, the back of the medallion would bear the personal seal or coat of arms of the wearer. The back of the Marist College President's Medallion carries the seal of the college. Thank you for your attention. At this time, I would like to introduce the Master of Ceremonies for our commencement program, Dr. Thomas Wormuth, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of Faculty.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please rise or remain standing for the presentation of the colors by the Marist College Army ROTC, followed by our national anthem, which will be sung by members of the Marist College Singers. Please remain standing for the invocation, which will be offered by Brother Frank Kelly, Director of Campus Ministry. Gentlemen, remove your caps.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Members of the class of 2018, please allow me to offer this prayer in your name. God of new beginnings, fresh dreams, budding hopes, we stand here tonight thankful to you for our accomplishments and successes, our families, friends, and educators. May the degrees we receive, our work, and our lives be for your glory and the world's good. For all that has been, we give you thanks. For all that is yet to come, we say, yes, Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. A special welcome to you, the families and friends of our graduates. We are honored today by your presence and that of our distinguished guests, members of the Board of Trustees and friends of the college. I would now like to recognize the trustees and guests who are with me on the platform, and I ask that they please stand. John O'Shea, Brother Sean Salmon, Betty Wolf, Dr. Dennis Murray, President Emeritus, Dr. David DeCenzo, President of the Coastal Carolina University, Daniel Moran, President of the Marist College Alumni Association, Dr. Jeffrey Brackett, Executive Vice President, Dr. Elizabeth Quinn, Associate Professor of Psychology and Chair of the Faculty, Dr. Sue Lawrence, Assistant Professor of Communication, and Dr. Nora Brackus, Assistant Professor of Education. We are pleased to have these distinguished guests with us today. And now I'd like to introduce David N. Yellen, who is in his second year as president of Marist College.
Thank you, Tom. Welcome to Marist's 72nd commencement exercises. For those of you who will be around once it gets dark, I wanted to note for you that in honor of our graduates, the lights on the historic Mid-Hudson Bridge just down away will be lit in the Marist colors of red and white. Before I offer just a few very brief remarks, I have a personal request of the audience. You're graduating on May 18th, 2018. On May 18th, 32 years ago, my wife and I were married. So, yeah, I was going to ask you to applaud for my good fortune and for her putting up with me for all these years. So thank you for anticipating my request. Today is an opportunity for us to celebrate the members of the class of 2018 and all of their outstanding achievements. We always try to remember, however, on occasions like this, that no one makes it this far on their own. So please join me in recognizing the families of all of our graduates. Without you, the accomplishments we celebrate today would not have been possible. For this reason, our graduates were given the opportunity to honor one person who uniquely inspired and supported them during their educational journey. These individuals have been given red and white honor cords, also sometimes known as PHT cords, or putting him or her through cords. With all those wearing the PHT honor cords, please stand and be recognized by the class of 2018. I'd also now like to invite all parents, grandparents, spouses, significant others, and children of our graduates to stand and be saluted by the class of 2018. I'd also like to take a moment to salute Marist's faculty. At some of the earlier events today and throughout this weekend, you get a chance to glimpse the really dynamic nature of the relationship between our students and our faculty. Whether it's teaching a larger class or mentoring an individual student, conducting research together, or just providing life advice, our students know how lucky they are to have such a dedicated group of faculty helping guide them through their Marist experience. So please join me in thanking our faculty. Finally, let me thank Kate Donham, Judy Ivankovic, and the members of the Commencement Committee for all of their work in organizing tonight's ceremony. You know, we show up and things run great, and it can be easy to forget just how much really hard work it takes to make an event like this come off so flawlessly. So thank you. Now, to the graduates, all of us who've had the chance to either teach or observe or get to know you have been so impressed with who you are as people and all the things that you've accomplished. You've brought your diverse life experiences to the classroom. You've shared your ideas in publications, in written form and online. You've assumed leadership positions in student organizations. And many of you, particularly this evening's group, have done it while working full-time or part-time, raising a family, maintaining a home, or participating in civic and community activities. Really an amazing accomplishment. Even more than your academic achievements, I've been immensely impressed by the character that you show during your time here. You've done that in numerous ways. Countless hours of volunteer work and money raised for worthy organizations, the way you advocate for change, both here on campus and in the community. Many of you have overcome very significant obstacles to be here today: illness, deaths in the family, economic struggles, etc. You've grown tremendously during your time at Marist, but please remember, this is in many respects only the beginning of your journey. As you move ahead with your career, education, family, you'll have the opportunity to achieve great things and really make a big difference in the world. In education, not so much higher education, but back when we were in elementary education, we used to hear a lot about the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. But I'm just going to talk for a minute about 3 other R's that we believe are very important to you in your lives as you leave Marist. One is relationships. Take care of the personal relationships in your life, because at the end of the day, they're much more important than any award or career achievement. Speaking of your career, building and maintaining strong professional relationships can be as or more important than intellect and hard work that you bring to the workplace. So seek out good mentors, maintain relationships with the mentors you've met already, and when the time is right, be a good mentor to people who are coming after you. The second R is resiliency. We all fail many times along the way, and the true test of character is how we respond to our failures. What will you learn from your missteps, and how can you try to do better next time? And then finally, the third R is reinvention. In a lot of ways, what you learn in college or graduate school is less important than learning how to learn. Now more than ever, education has to be a lifelong endeavor. The pace of change in society is faster than ever before. Your children may never own a car or maybe even drive a car because of technology. Many of you will work in jobs that don't yet exist. So no matter where life takes you, what career paths you follow, always be a learner, always keep educating yourself, and always keep adapting to new environments. I hope you share my view that today is a great time to be alive and working and living in our world. We certainly face many tremendous challenges, both in the United States and around the world. And some of those challenges really are existential ones. On the other hand, we sometimes, in the media age we live in, sometimes lose sight of the tremendous progress that's been made in the world. The percentage of the world's population living in extreme poverty or in active conflict zones is the lowest it's ever been in human history. And we've made incredible strides against diseases that used to kill millions of people every year. Now, ironically, some of the trends that cause problems are the very ones that lead to improvement in other areas in the world, principally globalization and technology. And those two trends are going to be major factors in your working lives, I'm quite confident. I'm optimistic, though, that because of the character you've shown and the education you've received and the kind of people you are, that you're going to apply your great skills and great attitude to helping to make the world a better place. You're people of character and intelligence. You've helped make Marist a better place already, and I wish you the very best as you go out and try and do the same in the nation and in the world. So good luck and congratulations to the class of 2018.
Thank you, President Yellen. I would now like to ask Sue Lawrence, Assistant Professor of Communication, Kevin MacLellan, our Distinguished Alumni Award honoree, and Daniel Moran, class of 2003 and president of the Marist College Alumni Association, to please come forward. Dr. Lawrence will read the citation honoring Kevin MacLellan, and the Distinguished Alumnus Medal will be placed by President Yellen and Mr. Moran.
Thank you. Kevin MacLellan, you are an alumnus held in very high esteem. We are so thrilled to welcome you back to Marist and to have you address our graduates who are about to become your fellow alumni this evening. You took your Marist degree in communication and took it to the highest levels. You have worked for some of the best-known entertainment and broadcasting companies in the world, including Comcast and NBC Universal. As chairman of Global Distribution and International at NBC Universal, you have an enormous array of responsibilities and are charged with overseeing worldwide content distribution. You have been involved with extremely popular programming, including Live from the Red Carpet, Saturday Night Live, Law and Order, Jurassic World, Mr. Robot, and Downton Abbey, and bringing that programming to a global audience. It seems fitting that your television career has been heavily focused on making the world a more connected place. When you were a student here, you were encouraged to study abroad by then director of the Marist Abroad program, Dr. Jepta Lanning, affectionately known as Jep. Because of Dr. Lanning, you studied in the United Kingdom for a year, an experience you later described as life-changing. To help other Marist students gain their own life-changing international experiences, last year, you generously established the Donald and Virginia MacLellan International Scholarship. This scholarship, named in honor of your parents, supports students with financial need wishing to expand their cultural horizons by studying abroad, just as you were able to do. Your dedication to helping others and giving back is also evident in the Soho Recovery Center in London, which you founded. The center provides space in the heart of London for 12-step recovery meetings to take place. By establishing the center, you have helped people who are working to recover from addiction or eating disorders by giving them access to support, particularly in the early phases of the recovery process when intensive meetings and community support are essential. This life-saving resource is enabling those suffering from addiction to achieve long-term recovery. In recognition of your achievements and for your embodiment of the principles of Marist College, the Board of Trustees proudly presents you with the Distinguished Alumni Medal.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much to President Yellen, Dr. Murray, who was here while I was here, and especially Sue Lawrence. I have to say I didn't know till this morning that Dr. Lawrence was going to be giving me my award today, and she actually taught me in my television production classes here almost 30 years ago. So I was really blown away. And it was particularly important to me because I get the chance to say something very special to her. And that is, I am so terribly sorry for the horrible video that I submitted my senior year with you. I had to do a 10-minute video, and I was supposed to be working on it all year, but it was my senior year, so I sort of blew it off. And I spent like 3 days on it. I did 3 all-nighters, and I asked all my roommates to act in it, and they were horrible. Part of it was their fault, I just want to say. They were just terrible. And when she gave it back to me with the script attached, instead of a grade at the top, it just said, "What happened?" ? So I want to say that it motivated me greatly to do a better job moving forward. So from that to Downton Abbey, I think that was a little bit better of a show than the others. So thank you so much for that. Thank you, Dr. Lawrence. Also, I want to say hello to all of the graduates. Super exciting day. I'm sure you're all feeling it. And hello to your family and friends. Hello to even the people you invited you don't like. I think we should give them a special hello, right? Because they're here. And then also, how about this weather? Everybody, no rain. Let's hear a whoop for that. Clap for God. Thank you, God. Appreciate that. You know, till this morning, I thought we were going to be caught in the McCann Center, kind of stinking a basketball player sweat. But, oh, Sorry, Dr. Yellen, that's looking like your future tomorrow, I'm guessing, right? Sorry about that. Anyway, all right. That's enough with the act. I actually did write a speech for today, and I'm very, very honored to be here, I should say. Thank you all for having me. So I imagine you're all feeling quite emotional. I know I was when I graduated from Marist 29 years ago. But really, I wasn't really feeling all that excited when I graduated. I was actually just very afraid and depressed. You know, my fingernails were caught in the walls of one of the townhouses here. They had to drag me out of Marist. And I think I was most upset because for so long I had been protected at Marist. Marist had become the place where I was safe, I was surrounded with friends, I was given good orderly direction while I was here at a time when I really needed it. And I was afraid to leave. And mostly I realized looking back that I was afraid that I would be found out. That, you know, I had been telling everybody that I was a student, and it was short and simple, and it sort of said all it needed to say. But most importantly, it said to people that the best of me was yet to come. And in reality, I didn't think there was the best of me yet to come. I didn't think there was much to me. I was a very insecure student. And so I was frightened when I was leaving. And I was afraid that everybody that believed that in the promise of Kevin, the graduate, was going to be disappointed in me. However, that's not what happened. I know many of you here today actually have been more than just a student for some time. Most of you have held down jobs, had numerous relationships, and even raised children. That is why I really struggled with what to say to all of you. I mean, after all, for the most part, you've all had a fair bit of life experience. I'm not saying that you're jaded or sort of insecure or really even judgmental, but I think most of you are from the tri-state area, so it's clear to say that you're a tough crowd to speak to tonight. But what I did was what most people do. I searched the internet. And after searching the internet for inspiration, I can tell you one thing you should never do when writing a commencement speech, and that's Google the 10 best commencement speeches of all time. Why? Well, because I am not Barack Obama, and I'm not Bill Gates, and I'm certainly not Ellen DeGeneres. I am not a consummate professional politician. Well, I guess I am a consummate professional, just not a consummate politician. A brilliant visionary or a trailblazing entertainer. What I am, however, is one of you. I grew up in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, the youngest of 8 kids in a blue-collar Irish Catholic family with very little money, a bit of chaos, and a lot of love. All in all, a very average person. So after realizing that I couldn't do what some of these brilliant speakers did, I asked myself, and maybe for the first time, how did an insecure kid from working-class Brooklyn end up running a multi-billion-dollar division of one of the world's largest media companies, producing over 2,000 hours of television, and managing over 3,000 people in 37 countries around the world? And I can assure you that some of my roommates from Marist and some of my family are here, and they are still asking themselves the same question to this day. How is that possible? Well, the answer did not come easily. There was no brilliant formula to professional success that I could identify. However, looking back, one thing was clear. Before I had succeeded professionally, I first had to address my 2 biggest character defects, fear and insecurity. When I asked myself how I had done this, I could see 3 clear ways that I had achieved this goal. And I'm going to share those with you today. And so 1 is to be real. 2 is be of service. And 3 is be not so hard. The first of these, be real, was perhaps the hardest for me. As I said, I had grown up in a loving family, but it was a very different time then. I was a gay kid in a tough neighborhood in 1970s Brooklyn. Despite trying to hide who I was verbally and physically tormented through most of my teens. I can tell you that when you spend countless hours trying to remember not to walk a certain way, or move your hands a certain way, or even look at another person of the same sex for more than a few seconds, it is mentally and physically exhausting. There is no way to be your best self when you spend all your time extinguishing any spark of life you might feel. This was a dark time for me. Looking back now, I realize that this period had the biggest influence on my life in both negative and positive ways. The negative was that I learned to be ashamed of who I was. And the positive was that I became mentally quite strong and capable of performing very well under pressure, which came in handy when I started producing television and movies. It would be years before I built up the courage to be honest about who I really was. But I can assure you that it was no coincidence that my career really began to take off once I was free to be my whole self. It wasn't all doom and gloom, though. I was also blessed to have very supportive siblings. Attending Marist was the result of my sister Maureen giving me one of my first lessons in being real. One day she said to me, "What are you going to study when you go to college?" And I said, "I don't know, but I'll probably study accounting because that's what Mom wants me to do." And my sister said, "Don't listen to Mom. Do something you like. What is it that you like, Kevin?" And honestly, at that point, I couldn't think of a single thing to say to her at 17 years old. Well, I could think of one thing, but I had a secret, so I couldn't say Broadway musicals. That was definitely out of the question. But what I did end up saying was, I said, "I really love going to the movies and watching TV," which at the time didn't seem exactly the most respected pastime in history, but to her credit, she didn't make fun of me. She said, "So then study television and film production." I didn't even know I could do that until that point in my life. Then my sister did something very out of character. She looked at me seriously and said, "It is very important that you choose something you like if you want to be happy. Do not let others tell you what you should do with your life." It was very out of character. Normally she spent all her time nagging and teasing me. So this really sunk in because she was so serious with me. So choosing television production at Marist was one of the first honest decisions I made in my life, and has definitely turned out to be one of the best. I have found that when I am real, people trust me more, like me more, and are more willing to follow my lead. Whereas when I try to be what other people want me to be, I struggle to connect or inspire others. Authenticity and self-awareness are powerful leadership skills that have served me well. Being of service to others has also proved to be very valuable. In my personal life, I see myself being of service most often with my family. 27 years ago, I met the love of my life, my husband, Brian, and we've had the most amazing time living all over the world together. And just 3 years ago, we became the proud fathers of 2 beautiful sons, Alexandra and William. Being a husband and a father has been the greatest blessing of my life, especially since I lived the first half of my life thinking that would never be possible. But any of you who have been in a long-term relationship or had children will know that being a significant other or a parent is really hard work, particularly for those of you that have been getting your degrees while you do it. Having to collaborate, compromise, and live on minimal hours of sleep just really sucks sometimes. There are numerous times that I just want the world to stop so I can hide away somewhere and just focus on me. The problem is that, as my brother Don always says, spending too much time in your own head is like taking a walk in a dangerous neighborhood. Something bad is bound to happen. Whereas when I focus my energies on others, I feel pretty good about myself. A good friend once told me that self-esteem was the building block for creating a happy life. And in order to feel self-esteem, one must first do esteemable things. Ridiculously logical when you think about it, but often hard to remember. So showing up for my family and friends is exhausting at times, but it is also the foundation of my self-esteem. I have also seen being of service pay huge dividends at work. For many years, I watched my parents work full-time jobs while they raised 8 children. Can you imagine that? I complain having 2. At times, my dad worked up to 3 jobs at a time, and my mom worked and managed most of the tasks in our busy household. I believe it is from them that I got my work ethic, and from them that I learned that if I wanted to succeed, I needed to be of service to my employer instead of expecting my employer to be of service to me. When I wanted the office in the corner, I asked myself, what do I need to do to get promoted to get the office in the corner? I didn't resent the company for not just giving it to me for being there for a long time. When I showed up on the set as a production assistant or as the executive producer, I made it a point to work harder, contribute more, and get noticed. That's really important in whatever you go to do. Get noticed. Sure, some of this was because I'm naturally insecure and super competitive. A dangerous and powerful combination, by the way. But the older I got, the more I realized that showing up and saying, "What can I do for you?" paid much greater dividends than showing up and asking, "What's in it for me?" The last action that I feel has had the most positive impact on me personally is a piece of advice that my friend Chuck gave me frequently. He would say to me, "Kevin, be not so hard." And the early part of my life, I found that really difficult being from Brooklyn. But now that I'm 51 years old, being not so hard is actually depressingly much easier. Now, this goes against my Irish Catholic blue-collar New Yorker roots big time. I mean, we're known around the world for being hard. We're supposed to be harder working, harder edged, and more opinionated, and that's the stereotype, and for many years I lived up to it. For all the good that came out of my working-class Brooklyn background, I also took with me this idea that life is a series of black and white decisions. My beliefs were the right beliefs, and anybody who believed differently was wrong. This was the way of thinking that certainly made life easier, but it also stifled me professionally and personally. I first realized how limiting this philosophy was when I spent a year studying abroad in the UK. I got to Brighton, England in the 1980s, and everyone had mohawks and blue hair and listened to punk music. They couldn't have been more different than me. I literally spent the first 6 months there vehemently defending Ronald Reagan, a president I had not even voted for. But that was because America was right and Britain was wrong. It was as simple as that. But it wasn't. And if I had stuck to my black and white philosophy, I would have missed out on what proved to be one of the most mind-altering experiences of my life. Now, this does not mean that I became a flag-burning British socialist, but I did open myself up to the idea that billions of people around the world think differently than me, and that does not make them wrong. It just makes them different. This realization did not make life easier, it just made it more complicated. I'll admit, it was exhausting, frustrating, and annoying at times. But learning to empathize with others' beliefs really did prepare me for being able to lead large groups of very different people in countries all around the world. By being more open to others' beliefs, I became more willing to change my own. I was able to become more influential, motivating, and intuitive. Without these abilities, I would never have achieved the level of success that I have. I'm not going to deny that to this day, I am considered to be a tough and demanding boss. But I think I'd be right in saying that my employees around the world would also say that I was understanding and fair. Holding on to the edge I grew up with, while opening myself up to being more empathetic, is what I call being not so hard. So the leadership skills I developed to achieve the success I have had in my career all came about as a result of me being open to identifying my own character defects and making changes. I've had many teachers along the way, but in the end, I had to make the changes myself. Today, when I find myself feeling insecure or unsure about what to do, I remind myself to be real, be of service, and be not so hard. Usually, this is enough to ensure that I get out of my own way, which in my experience is more than half the battle. In closing, I'd like to say that being asked to do this speech today is one of the greatest honors of my life. Because when I was truly lost in my life, Marist picked me up and cradled me until I could find a path of my own. The friends I made here are to this day the best friends I have in the world. And when they all found out that I was doing this speech, they insisted on coming to Poughkeepsie today. Imagine that. Nearly 33 years have passed since I first met these friends, and over 20 of them put aside their lives for a weekend to come and celebrate me. Clearly, I'm not the only one who has learned a bit about being real, being of service, or being not so hard since graduating here. It must be something in the water. I wish you all the same amount of love, success, and satisfaction that I've been blessed with in my life. God bless you, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Now it is my pleasure to invite the recipient of the award for Excellence in Graduate Studies to speak for the graduate class of 2018. The award winner is Brennan Logan Perry, who is an asset manager database administrator for Central Hudson Gas and Electric, and is receiving his master's degree in information systems. Brennan?
Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the 72nd commencement at Marist College alongside the beautiful Hudson River. Thank you to the Marist administration and faculty for this honor, and congratulations to all the graduates tonight. While thinking about and preparing for this evening's ceremony, I pictured us as an eclectic and diversified group of graduates. Now looking out across all your faces, I see this as true. Our individual circumstances may be different and unique, and very different paths may have led us to this moment of achievement at Marist. We may be different in the sacrifices we have made and the challenges we have faced, but our differences are likely offset by our commonalities. I believe we are alike in our pursuit of the proven opportunities here at Marist College, alike in our effort to balance our school schedule, work obligations, and the responsibilities of everyday life. We all know firsthand that hard work and effort reap rewards. We realize the importance of education, and that education is power. During my reflection, I thought about pieces of advice that I had been given over the years. A memorable one was a summer afternoon while watching a Yankee game with my grandfather. The Yankees were up by 12 runs in the 6th inning, and I asked my grandfather if he thought they were going to win. His response was simply, "You can never score enough runs." As a young boy, I did not completely understand the full meaning of his message, but today I have a better appreciation for my grandfather's words. In the game of life, he was urging me to compete against complacency. It is easy to rest on our laurels in the wake of our accomplishments, like our graduation celebration here tonight. Certainly, this event should not go unrecognized or uncelebrated. However, we need to continue to battle in each and every at-bat, looking to drive in that next run. Do not let complacency rule you. Do not get too comfortable. And most importantly, never settle. Always strive towards success. During my senior year of high school, we were asked to provide a quote for the yearbook. As an avid sports fan and fierce competitor, I selected a quote by Vince Lombardi Jr. He famously asked, "If winning isn't everything, then why do they keep score?" Nearly 10 years later, I have come to realize that winning simply is not everything. Without making I understand that there is much growth and good which can come from failure. Without making mistakes in our lives, what is there to push us? And if we are not being pushed, are we really fulfilling our potential? Embrace your failures and mistakes and use them as opportunities to learn and grow. Find humility in saying the words, "I don't know," or "I was wrong." Do not let failure lessen your enthusiasm, but rather use it as an opportunity to develop your character. I'm not sure we think about character often enough or seriously enough. No matter the amount of knowledge or degrees we obtain, without the grace of character, our sphere of influence decreases. It is the proper balance of character and drive that gives us our ability to stand tall at the plate. Coaches everywhere give pep talks to light a fire in you and kindle a winning attitude. It is our obligation to keep that fire burning. Our fire must ignite us to vote, to make meaningful contributions to our communities, to make worthwhile connections in our lives, to make a difference. Marist College states its mission values as pursuing excellence in education, a sense of community, and a commitment to service. Likewise, during my undergraduate years at Boston College, the 150th anniversary campaign was Light the World. It is my hope that this resonates with all of us as we depart from Marist and embark on the next portion of our journey. In whatever ways, both big and small, we must find and light the spark for our own hopes and aspirations and support the hopes and aspirations of all those we encounter. A fiery passion gives us our focus, gives us determination, gives us direction. May we all leave campus tonight with our fire burning bright. The parallels between athletics and our personal and professional lives are clear. A strong work ethic and persistent effort reap rewards. In baseball, a hitter is considered one of the best in the game, having just 30% success at the plate. We know that even though success is not always a straight and unencumbered path, It should always be our goal. Again, I thank you for this honor and the opportunity to speak tonight. I also would like to thank my parents and my girlfriend for their unwavering support and encouragement. I hope everyone enjoys their evening, and congratulations to all my fellow graduates.
Thank you, Brennan. Members of the Board of Trustees and Administration, faculty, parents, spouses, and other relatives, friends of the graduates and guests, it is my privilege and honor to present the candidates for degrees at the 72nd graduation of students from Marist College. Tonight's graduates are listed in the commencement program. President Yellen, I present to you the candidates for master's degrees. Will the candidates for the degree Master of Arts in Mental Health Counseling please come forward? President Yellen, the candidates for Master of Arts in Mental Health Counseling are
Cara Ann Kennelly, Alexis Nicole Colon, Douglas A. Cullen, Kelsey Morgan Depew, Caitlin Devro, Morgan Marie Dinello, Joanna J. Dykeman, Whitney Erin Parnan, Jessica Velva Reynolds, Evelise Rivera, Cassidy Lee Robichaud,
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Arts in Educational Psychology please come forward? President Yellen, the candidates for Master of Arts in Educational Psychology are
Hunter C. W. Andrews, Lindsay Lantis Benanti, Caitlin Eileen Bruckner, Alexa Michelle Burgers, Justine Marie Cara, Melissa Ann Casella, Michelle Lynn Clark, Stephanie T. Catamaccio, Danielle Grace Cristiano, Tara Quinn DeAndre, Jennifer C. Galliani, Mary Catherine Galazewski, Jenna Elise Grossman, Cassidy Yvonne Harahan, Amanda A. Pardon, Spencer Leo Johnson, Caitlin Marie King, Alden Lee Knife, Hannah Mary Lahita, Olivia Marie Lapas, Mary Odesita Lewis, Alexandra Marie Mendike, Carly Marie Mignoni, Amanda L. Morgano, Ashley Hope Mrozik, Kelsey Morgan O'Brien, Caitlin Marie Olaf, Dorothy Elizabeth Paul, Melissa Ann Peachman, Kristen Marie Ramirez. Lauren A. Regan. Jennifer S. Shaw. Elizabeth Ann Sierra. Megan Stash. Regina Ann Stewart. Carly Marie Tate. Corinne Eileen Verace. Lucy Margaret Watson. Jillian Brianna Weiss. Meredith Cahill Wirtz.
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Arts in School Psychology please come forward? President Yellen, the candidates for Master of Arts in School Psychology are
Emily Jean Bacher. Gabriella Marie DeCenzo. Corey Bianca Embler. Margaret Ann Frenzel. Erin Ruth Thompson.
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Education in Adolescence Education come forward? President Yellen, the candidates for the Master of Education in Adolescence Education are
Justina Marie Donovan. Marissa Jean Drogan. Robert Michael Heineman. Sean Joseph McKenna. Nicolette Rose Nisi. Timothy M. Pachone. Catherine Ray Squires.
You can go. Will the candidates for the degree Master of Business Administration please come forward? President Yellen, the candidates for the Master of Business Administration are
Eric Charles Applebaum. Valentine Renee Bordas. Michael Allen Baroud. Courtney Rose Camano. Michael Capano. Jenna L. Sumac. Mark Davidson. Ellie Erickson. Fareed Nabiel Fareed. Caitlin McNamara Francesi. Megan M. Griffin. Zachary Daniel Harkenreiter. David Maxwell Harrison. Jessica M. Hassapis. Jason Edward Huno. Deanna Johnson. Madeline Delia Cashew. Stephen Marshall. Catherine Martell, Julie Ann Olmsted, Peter Louis Pevratis, Dina Claudine Sidor, Catherine S. Tasler, Charles Campbell Woods,
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Public Administration please come forward? President Yellen, the candidates for Master of Public Administration are. You're going to have several live reads.
Sarah Alsdorf, Victoria Lynn Arico, Anthony M. Avery, Aaron Thomas Bayer, Kevin DaCosta Best, Nancy Lee Lewis Calabresi, Melissa Alexia Campbell Jesurum, Carol Ann Casale, Sean A. Chin Chance, Tiffany Christiana, Joseph V. Ciardi, Janet Yvonne Cobb, Yvette Dixon, Candace C. Escarpeta, Anita Eileen Garvin, Carol E. Hamilton, Andres Harnicker, Jennifer Hernandez, Sharon Marie Huneau, Andrew Bowden Jarosh, Mona R. Johnson, Kimberly N. Jones, Daniel Albert Lemereau, Joseph Vincent Lee, D. Levy, Jason S. Martinez, Krista Michelle Mason, Velez V. Montgomery, Mark S. Nelson, Deborah Martin, Riley Aaron Nivens, Stephen J. Nocera, Abid M. Omar, Sharuv Paul, Swapan Paul, Kelly Ann Pelletier, Philip Evan Plessis III, Mary E. Quell, Latoya Riley, Teresa Rischel, Juanita Marie Salas Jackson, Kylie Scheibling, Tracy Elaine Schober, Florida Esther Sheehan, Richard F. Silveroli, Deshaun P. Simpkins, Gregory Maximilian Stewart, Alex Tom, Michelle P. Turk, Caitlin Taylor Walsh, Rita Watt, Nicole Elizabeth Weston, Emily Marie Wigfield. Latanya Karina Williams. John Frederick Zeltman. Tamanika Burney.
Thank you.
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Arts in Communication please come forward? President Yellen, the candidates for Master of Arts in Communication are
Anusha Catherine Dickow, Laura Austin Dunlow, Sarah Victoria Gordon, Erin M. McGinnis, Thomas M. Nuara, Sarah Lynn Badia, Christy Allen Benecase,
Rebecca Hoffman Blanche.
These are INC kids.
It's okay.
Kendall Elizabeth Burke, Victoria Elizabeth Caldwell, Rhiannon Karen Carpenter,
Jason Ross Carr,
Milena M. Carice,
Kevin Christopher Coleman,
Sebastian Cortez, Shannon Craven, Heather Marie Dworkowski, Rosemarie Emery, Stephanie Ganella,
They'll just continue to come.
Megan Elizabeth Graham, Ariana Lindsay Held, Megan D. Hodgen, Dee Dee Huracan, Courtney Karecki, Keston Ann Marzullo, Mariah Lise Mellor, Angelia D. Mendez, Chelsea Lauren Moravec, Amber Marie Murphy, Nicholas Schoeneck Nye, Alyssa Kate Willett, Gabrielle Nicole Paleshi, Maria Elizabeth Piscatella, Jacqueline A. Retzer, Olivia Lauren Rickenbacker, Lauren Anna Rowland, Julia Ann Rudeau, Laura Mary Scaviola, Diana Sefcik, Caitlin A. Summer, Amanda Jane Toronto, Nicole Marie Trost, Lena Borisova, Joshua Michael Vick, Carly Elizabeth Watson, Morgan Rebecca Weiss, Robert William III. Amanda Lee Riviera. Carla Monique Fletcher.
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies, our first class of Physician Assistant Studies students, please come forward? President Yellen, the candidates for the Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies are
Caitlin Albano, Timothy Andrew Bangert, Haley Rose Bowser, Samantha Mary Calabro, Christina Rose Servini, Tony Ann Costanzo, Christina McAuliffe Conius, Lexis M. DeLazio, Gagan Dhaliwal, Jennifer Delfina Diaz, Shinaz H. Palani, Heather Lemu Hogan, Karen McSorley Cates, Yujan Kim, Alana K. Kohler, Carly C. Pisavage, Michael Aaron Kurek, Angela America Libranti, Sarah Beth Lowe, Miriam Luna, Cynthia Lai, Allison Jean Mayu, Michelle Teresa Mikowski, Marisa Lee Merton, Katie Lynn Mickelson, Mary Kate Miniman, Melissa Andrea Perez, Deanna Gail Olson, Simone Carlo Piroli, Miriam Quinn Doblas, Catherine Janet Ricewick, Asha Samuel, Walter J. Schilling, Avo Gregory Serafino, Kayla Delmar Smith, Bryant Williams,
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Science in Information Systems please come forward? I begin the candidates for Master of Science in Information Systems with Brennan Logan Perry, winner of our Award for Excellence in Graduate Studies. President Yellen, the remaining candidates for the Master of Science in Information Systems are
Anyukriti Abed, Suni Alayinka Adeola, Monica Chowdhury Alapati, Abane Sa Alasheti, Jeffrey Michael Brown, Nicholas Henry Canali, James Dean Crawley, Rahul Chawla, Chittor Parashuraman Arish, Jyothi Praveen Gadi Raju, Gali Bala Rahul Reddy, Venkata Vijaya Apurva Ganji, Sai Sindhu Gole, Evan James Gray, Vaishnavi Krishna Gouda, Sai Manjov Gunakala, Amprakash Zadhav, Sumit Zadhav, Deepika Pramod Kadaki, Andrew James Knapp, Surya Kokanti, Shruti Sarashrayo Kokani, Udesha Kumar, Chinta Surya Malati, Oditya Logashetty, Samantha Limley Mahan, Nilabya Mana, Jacqueline Erica Manrique, Amber R. Negron Collier, Srikant Chandra Narali, Vankata Naga Monika Pamidi, Travan Panikar, Jiga Nalashba Pama, Cassandra Marie Pulse, Ravi Teja Puranam, Sai Rohit Ravipati, Veronica Ann Rivera,
Gauthami Baretti,
Joy Pranith Sumadrala, Pooja Avind Singh, Somaya Gogineni, Gautam Subramaniam, Daniel J. Sweezy, Prince Paul Tatian, Bharath Kumar Vupala, Raisa Vahab, Stephen Ricardo White,
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Science in Computer Science Software Development please come forward? President Yellen, the candidates for the Master of Science in Computer Science Software Development are
Naga Anurag Biram, Priyanka Gade, Thompson Rojan, Patrick Jang Hanley, Antonino W.K. Tan Marcello, Marcus R. Barbieri, Matthew J. Maffa,
Dominic Anthony Rosillo,
Praneeth Manubolu, Mitten Sharma, Sri Manjusha Tella, Kavya Reddy Vemula, Janpreet Singh, Sai Gautam Panubothu, Sai Hemant Vamulapalli,
Before calling forward the candidates for the baccalaureate degree, I would like to acknowledge those undergraduate students who have earned academic honors. Listed in the program text to the candidates' names are asterisks for cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude honors. I would like to invite all individuals who have earned cum laude honors to please stand and let us congratulate you. Cum laude. Would all of the individuals who have earned magna cum laude honors please stand and let us congratulate you. Magna cum laude. And would all the individuals who have earned summa cum laude honors please stand and let us congratulate you. Summa cum laude. Now it is my pleasure to invite the winner of the Spirit of Adult Education Award to speak for the undergraduate class of 2018. The award winner is Darrell Robert Lafferty, Jr., the Director of Sales at Hyatt Place, New York in Yonkers, who returned to higher education after a 20-year hiatus to earn a bachelor's degree in liberal studies. Darrell?
President Yellen, members of the board, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, family and friends, fellow graduates, good evening. Tonight, we celebrate our success, having reached this great milestone in life's journey, a journey that has not always been easy, and the direction not always clear, as our internal GPS declared, recalculating, and a new route was established. For me, the road to graduation was not always a smooth ride. From a young age, I dreamed of being the first in my family to earn a bachelor's degree. I'm very proud of my young sister for having beat me to that goal. My dream of going to a four-year institution after high school seemed impossible without financial support. My family had limited experience in financing a higher education, and Google would not be invented for another decade. However, scholarships in my senior year of high school enabled me to begin my college journey at a community college. Following that first semester, I recognized that overcoming the many challenges to achieving my objective would not be without a struggle. It was important for me to maintain full-time status to complete my associate degree, a step toward achieving my long-term vision. To accomplish this, I worked 2 jobs. While this was challenging, the never-failing encouragement of family, friends, colleagues, and administrators ensured that I never lost hope or focus on achieving my goals. Having earned my associate's degree, exhausted and challenged with work and school, I decided to take a break that would last 20 years. My financial needs influenced my choice, and one of my college jobs transitioned into a career with Marriott International. Marriott afforded me the opportunity to learn new skills, to build a career serving others. Marriott's core values of putting people first, pursuing excellence, embracing change, acting with integrity, and serving our world continue to be the pillars of my own personal values today. My numerous positions, including various leadership roles, enabled me to show respect and dignity for every human being. During my time with Marriott, I was especially successful in sales, assessing needs and providing appropriate solutions. This process helped my development, aligned with Marist values, guided me in my pursuit of excellence, putting people first, acting with integrity, and embracing change. In fact, my ability to champion change was so successful, it led to the elimination of my position through a sales transformation. And I continue to be reminded by my efforts that, as Heraclitus said, the only constant is change. It was through this drive for self-improvement, the strong desire for personal growth and inspiration to make a more meaningful contribution to my community and society at large that propelled me to take the next step in this journey. It was through my position with Marriott that I began my journey to Marist College. As the area director of sales for the Mid-Hudson Valley, I was the relationship manager for the Marist account. This relationship would ultimately lead to my applying to Marist as an adult learner. In the beginning, Corinne Schell and I worked together on accommodating recruits. She was perhaps the most supportive and influential in my decision to return to school. Another influencer was Professor Jenny Donahue. She and I met through her previous employer, Dutchess County Tourism. We would meet up again while both of us were in different positions, she here at Marist College and I at the American Red Cross. Through her advisement, the Public Relations Student Society of America worked with me on developing appropriate public relations efforts for the Dutchess County chapter of the American Red Cross. I was also invited to be a guest lecturer on crisis communication, thus furthering my engagement with the college. Rounding out this prior relationship, I recall a favorite memory from a visit to the athletics department. I was merely bearing a token holiday gift to say thank you for the business. and in return received a Marist football hoodie from the 2009 season, which I still wear proudly. Go Red Fox. Now on my way to a bachelor's degree as an adult learner, it quickly became apparent that multitasking and scheduling would be necessary to manage full-time work, school assignments, and personal responsibilities. Study often began late in the evening and finished in the early morning hours, only to catch a few hours sleep. Support of my spouse enabled me to concentrate on studies without worry of shared household responsibilities. We have made great strides to get here, but as we look through the lens of the future, we cannot help but see many disruptions in the way we live and work. Our lives are changed on a daily basis with new technology, machine learning, robotics, and artificial intelligence, all of which will influence every aspect of our lives. These ongoing changes show how vitally important it is to continue our own development journey. Finally, my fellow students, the sacrifices we made to walk proudly across this stage tonight make this achievement a worthy accomplishment. Well done, my fellow graduates. In closing, let's define our purpose and be deliberate. Having pursued excellence in our education, we should engage in our communities and be committed to a life of service. Thank you.
Thank you, Darrell. President Yellen, I present to you the candidates for the bachelor's degree. President Yellen, I begin the candidates for the bachelor's degree with Darrell Robert Lafferty, Jr., who we just heard, winner of our Spirit of Adult Education Award. The remaining candidates for the bachelor's degree are
Sherry Leah Acito, Jason Douglas Baylor, Lisa Marie Bellis, Jacqueline K. Bocard, Nicole Bosco, Karen Christine Burke. Stephen Thomas Byrne, Andrew J. Burns, Brittany Joelle Collins, Lauren Nicole Dambra, Colette C. DeMello, Tanessa Lenice Dias, Julie A. Deisher, Juan G. Johnson, Kristen A. Condesar, Jenna Liguori, Stephanie Marie Mitchell, Justice A. Mitchell, Richard Michael Monahan, Jr., Thomas John Murphy, Nicolee Anne-Marie Pease, Marissa Sierra Pizzarello, Tracy Francis Plain, Wendy Sherman, Albert Ross Sorbello, Marie Hugueth Saint-Ange Succès, Jennifer M. Sullivan, Juan Taisha Tisiera,
Will the remaining candidates for the bachelor's degree please come forward? These include traditional majors in the School of Communication and the Arts, the School of Computer Science and Mathematics, the School of the Liberal Arts, the School of Management, the School of Science, and the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences. President Yellen, the candidates for the bachelor degree are
Camille M. Capello, Stephanie Servino, Rafael Jose Colon, Ian P. Dolan, Megan Rebecca Feibush, Daniel Andrew Galloway, Constantine Michael George, Jacqueline Herrera, Lucy Herrera, Emily Rose Holland, Ashley Marie Laraga, Angela Delicia Latibaudiere, Allison M. Lefevre, Jarrett Sean Levine, Teresa Maranzano, Anastasia Marie Martin, Sarah Ann Matthews, Rachel Beth O'Connor, Michael Anthony Pavia, Shakur Khalil Peterson, Alyssa Helen Pidell, Rochelle M. Pointer, Andrew Lloyd Rebellard, Beverly Pat Ramdas, Nija Delilah Roden, Tiffany Lynn Scott, Abigail Catherine Sokovny, Kyle Smith, Anthony D. Sorricelli, Christ Thackey, Krista Villone, Alicia Vishavate,
Will all the master's degrees candidates please rise?
By the powers vested in me by the Regents of the State of New York and the trustees of Marist College, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I hereby bestow upon you the appropriate master's degree with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Please sit for just a moment, please. Please sit for a moment. Will all the bachelor's degree candidates please rise?
By the powers vested in me by the Regents of the State of New York and the trustees of Marist College, and upon the recommendation of your faculty, I hereby bestow upon you the appropriate bachelor's degree with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Please stand. The Marist song will now be sung by members of the Marist College Singers.
Seeking wisdom, truth, and light.
Now I call on Brother Frank Kelly to please give the benediction.
Graduates, may you be blessed with the strength to stay true to your best self, to your passion, and to your dreams. May you be blessed with the courage to use your education, your gifts, and your talents for the betterment of humankind and our earth. May God bless you so that you walk into your future with faith, hope, and great love. Amen.
Marist College has been honored by the presence of this assembly today, and we thank you all for your attendance. On behalf of President Yellen, I invite families to join the graduates at an informal reception in the St. Peter's Meadow by the entrance to the pedestrian walkway. Will the audience please remain in their places during the recessional? The class of 2018 is now dismissed.